Thank you, Paige Murphy, for agreeing to be interviewed. Your participation will be valuable in evaluating my interviewing skills, which is important for my academic and professional development. The video that is being produced will be viewed by my classmates, but is not intended for public access. At the end of the course, all materials will be deleted unless other arrangements have been made and approved by you. Any information that you provide is voluntary. You do not have to divulge in any personal information. If for any reason you subsequently want to delete certain portions of the interview, I will try in good faith to accommodate your request. If you have any questions regarding this assignment, I can put you in touch with my instructor. So, do you have any questions at this time? And do I have your permission to record this interview?
No questions, and yes, you have my permission.
Alright, perfect. So, it's good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. How's your day been so far?
It's good.
Great. So, do you have a good day at work today?
Yes, I did.
Good. Alright, so how do you have any questions about what this program may be or expectations of what this is gonna look like? Like, what do you expect to get from this?
I just expect maybe some like tips and tricks, I guess, to help eat better.
Okay,
Better
perfect.
choices.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to give you an overview of the program just so you know exactly what I should be giving you and what it's going to look like. So we're going to look at the forms that you filled out for me previously. We're going to analyze your typical daily diet and any issues you may have, like with a medical issue, and how nutrition can help that. We're going to make recommendations based on this information that we get from the forms, and then we're going to work together to identify some lifestyle changes that we can make, like you said, like tips and tricks to help improve your health and your nutritional side of life. And so these are going to be used through smaller goals and objectives to help you reach the main goal that we're going to set at the end of this program. So we're going to start out by looking at your client assessment questionnaire. And so I made a few notes on this after you fill this out and I looked over it. I noticed that your height and weight is a really great, it puts you in a really good BMI category. I don't know if you already knew that or not, but that's a really good BMI to have, so that's really good and positive to see. And then for the vitamin deficiency, were you tested for this?
Yes.
Okay, so like a blood test?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know, do you take any, you said that you take vitamin D3.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any nutrition, like foods that have vitamin D that you try and include in your diet?
I started drinking whole milk instead of 2%, but super randomly, like maybe a couple of times a week. So
Okay.
cheese, and that's all that I know.
Okay. Do you eat a lot of cheese?
And yogurt. I do eat
yogurt.
cheese, probably way too much.
It happens. Cheese is good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, have you personally have had any concerns about the issues with the family, like the high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, high cholesterol? Like, has your doctor ever mentioned any concerns about that?
When I was pregnant, my cholesterol was high, probably because I was eating everything. So I did start taking fish oil when I was pregnant.
Okay, and you still take that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because it was a little bit high.
Okay. Perfect. And then for the osteoporosis, you take vitamin D, which will be helping that. And then you said you still have stress. Do you do anything to help the stress? Daily basis, like a regular routine that you have for that?
Not really.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. And then don't do tobacco. And for your avocado allergy, was this tested or you just figured it out on your own?
No, just figured it out on my own.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
It's a hard one to see though. And then you enjoy physical activity. So you have a history with physical activity?
Yes, a history currently, no. I don't have time.
All right. What kind of classes or what did you used to do?
I enjoyed spin class and yoga, and then HIIT training.
Okay, gotcha. Would you like, if you could, you said you don't have much time right now, if you could and you did have more time right now, would you probably do that still?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. And then you said you take a multivitamin. Is this just a general multivitamin, or are you taking it for a certain reason?
Just general.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And so you have done a low carb diet. Did you enjoy doing the low carb diet?
No, I didn't enjoy it. I missed the carbs.
Yeah.
And for the first little bit, it was torture. But I felt much better, and I wasn't as bloated without all the carbs.
All right. Okay. So did you have any rules on that? Like, where if you were low carb, did you have any carbs that you like? Did you have any certain carbs that you would eat but not eat? Like, I want you to simmer roll, but I will eat whole grain toast kind of thing.
I didn't do any white bread or refined. Even still, I don't eat fake bread. Is what I call it.
So refined.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would try to stick to wheat, and then most of the time when I was doing the low carb, it was just like the only carb I was really eating was like oatmeal.
Okay.
In the morning.
Okay. So you didn't have any like certain carbs that you would eat and wouldn't eat other than the refined.
Just yeah. I limit my toast anyway, and bread and pasta. I didn't eat any pasta. That was hard because I love pasta.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did eat bread, it was like whole grain.
Okay, gotcha. Great. And you said you do not eat raw veggies. Is this like general all veggies, or are there some that you do enjoy, just don't eat as much maybe?
I don't eat them uncooked.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
like, people sit there and snack on carrots and ranch. That's not me.
Okay. All right. If you were to eat veggies, what is your favorite way to cook them?
I guess, like broccoli. I love steamed broccoli. And I guess it's steamed with like at work they have like beans and carrots, broccoli, and I guess it's all steamed.
Okay.
I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. It's a very healthy way to eat veggies.
Yeah.
So, all right. So you do eat at regular times, 3 meals and typically 1 snack. You like pizza, Mexican, and sweets. All right. And so you said that you would like to improve your eating habits and activity level, but you do have to work a lot, and you do have a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Totally understandable. All right. So you do eat fast food or sit-down restaurants 7 days a week. What do you typically get at these restaurants? Like, do y'all have a restaurant y'all go to most?
We have a few that we go to.
Okay.
And I usually try to get something with veggies. Like when we go to the barbecue place, I'll try to get like green beans or broccoli or something to go with my barbecue sandwich. Trying to think where else we eat. Chick-fil-A is kind of hard. I always end up getting fries when I should not
Do you get the grilled chicken, or do you get the fried chicken?
I get fried chicken.
Okay. That's okay.
I used to try to be good and get the grilled chicken with like the fruit or the yogurt more often, but I don't even do that anymore.
Okay. That's all right. So you don't, assuming that you said 7 days a week for fast food or sit-down restaurants, you don't cook that much?
No, I like cook like maybe once or twice a week. Like I'm doing good if I can cook once or twice a week.
Got you. Yeah. For the fast food stuff, is that like all of your meals, or is that just dinner? What does it look like?
Not usually. Like we really do try to stay away from fast food, and if we do eat fast food, it's like Chick-fil-A, or the pita place. Trying to think what else. Sometimes we might have Zaxby's, but most of the time it's like a sit-down restaurant that has like meat and veggies or something like that. But it's still loaded with sodium, so
that's a step better than fast food, though. So
yeah.
Good. All right, and then you also said that your sister and your mom would help encourage you, so that's good to have a support system that you can easily identify. All right, and so some more information you'd like is healthy food preparation, exercise, meal planning, snack foods. Perfect. All right, that's the same paper. Okay, so now we're gonna look at the next one that you filled out. Sorry. So the food frequency questionnaire. So on this, it looks pretty good. 3 to 4 servings of refined grains per week. For you, what does refined look like? Like those grains?
Like white bread. Oh wait, did I put that there? Okay, so I don't eat white bread. So
Okay,
if I do
that's
eat
fine.
refined grains, it'll be like Cheez-Its or something, which
Okay.
is super random, and I don't try to eat them. Sometimes I might want like a oh my gosh, what is it called? An oatmeal cream pie. So I'm sure that's refined.
I would believe so.
Pasta, like at work and stuff.
Mhm.
If I cook my pasta, it's either whole grain or whole wheat pasta or brown rice pasta.
Yeah. Okay.
But at work,
That's good.
I'm sure they probably use whatever pasta's cheaper. So
Yeah, probably so. All right. Let me see. For the high fat meats, what is the main, or like for all of the meats, what is the main meats that you eat in a typical week?
chicken and beef.
Okay.
We might eat pork if we go for barbecue.
But not as frequently as chicken
No.
and beef. Okay.
At least once a week for pork.
Okay.
Chicken most of the time, and then beef would be a couple times a week.
All right. That works. Okay. Perfect. And then 2 servings of sweets a day.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That is okay.
Especially in the evenings. I don't know why I crave sweets in the evenings.
So like late night sweets
Yeah.
do hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
I understand that one completely. So when you're filling out those forms, what thoughts came to your mind, or just any feelings that you had? Did you have any of those? Any specific feelings?
Not any new ones, but it's the same ones like, this is so terrible. I know this is not how it should be, but here I am. Like, especially with fast food and not cooking. So
Yeah, I understand. What do you think right now holds you back from making a good nutritional change?
honestly, time.
Okay.
And I only have 1 kid, so I can't imagine when I have more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just time, working a full-time job, getting off at 5:30, going and picking up the kid, and then trying to cook a meal with him here. It's just like impossible.
Yeah, that does make things so really
I don't know
hard.
how people do it.
Yeah, that is hard. So we had said that you did low carb and you enjoyed it, and you felt better. Were there any methods that you used during your low carb diet that helped you stay on that diet?
No, I guess really it was just like my own self-control. And I was working out at the time, and so I really liked the way my body looked, and I would allow myself a cheat day here and there, but for the most part it was like for the goal of looking good.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that just kept me on track. Like when I went to Chick-fil-A, I'd feel so guilty if I got fries instead of yogurt.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't really use any other method, just like self-control.
So it was more like mental, wasn't like that. Did you have any accountability partners during that time?
My husband, but he's just as loose with his self-control as I am. So that's not much.
Yeah, I understand that. So we're gonna walk through a typical day for you. I'm gonna do both a weekday and a weekend day, because I know that like you work during the week, so we can maybe a little bit different than a work day. So, and I'm just gonna take notes on it while you're talking. So just keep talking. If I'm not looking at you, just taking notes. So you don't have to give me like specific foods that you had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, but what does it typically look like for you, like starting with breakfast from the moment you wake up?
From the moment I wake up, I always try to drink one of these full of water while I'm getting ready, and then coffee is a must. With cream and sugar.
Okay.
And sometimes lately I don't want to eat breakfast, So I just won't for a while and just go to work. And if I get hungry, I might, get something downstairs in the cafeteria, like a piece of bacon and a little bit of egg or something. And I usually don't eat anything again until lunch. That I try to do low carb, but if they have pasta, I'm gonna eat the pasta. But I always eat meat and veggies for lunch at least. And then most of the time I won't eat again unless I didn't eat a whole lot of lunch. Oh, and I will add into this that I've really started to try to cut down on my portion size. So I usually I'll eat a little bit of my lunch, and then once I start feeling full, I just stop. So then I might get hungry before dinner, and that's when I go wrong, and I'll eat something like candy or chips or something from the vending machine. And then for dinner, we will usually go out to eat somewhere after we pick up the kid from school. And that, I still try to do veggies and a meat. I've been trying to, not do breads and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will usually have a snack around 8:30, 9 o'clock, which I'm trying to cut back on. But I always get to craving sweets, so I try to do something like popcorn, or lately it's been Skittles. I don't know why. A handful of Skittles while I'm relaxing watching TV.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, so you said, I'm just going to run through this with a few questions real quick. Do you typically make your own coffee?
It's about 50-50.
Okay.
I have coffee every single day, but about half the time I'll make it here, and then sometimes I'll go either to Starbucks or 4 a.m. or sometimes Dunkin'.
Okay, gotcha. And then you said you don't always eat breakfast recently.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to guess, how many days a week do you eat a breakfast before you go to work? Or get the cafeteria food, as you said.
How many days a week do I get the cafeteria food?
Yeah.
Maybe 3 days a week.
Okay.
Now on the weekends we eat breakfast.
Okay. Just run through this real quick. Okay, so you said for portion sizes you're trying to cut them, so you'll eat until you get full and you'll save it. Is that what you said?
No, I
You
usually
won't save
just
it.
chunk
Okay,
it.
sorry.
Yeah.
Couldn't remember what you said there. Is there any method to cutting your portion sizes, or is it just until you feel full? Do you see a piece of chicken and say, I'm only gonna eat half of this, or is it just I'm gonna eat this until I feel full, kind of thing?
I guess I really just eat until I feel full.
Okay.
But it's when I start feeling full, not oh my gosh, I'm so full, but just
okay, yeah.
I think I might be done, and so I'll kind of put it away for a minute and work a little bit, and then if I get hungry again or feel like I want to eat more, I'll eat a little bit more, but most of the time it sits there on my desk and I don't eat anymore.
I got you. So when you are at work, if you go down to the cafeteria, you get food, you bring it back to your desk?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you don't sit in the cafeteria?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. And for your snack that you have every once in a while, I think you mentioned a few, but I missed them. Mm-hmm. What does the typical snack look like out in the workplace?
There's this lady at work right now, and she keeps bringing candy. So Snickers or an Almond Joy, but the minis.
Okay.
Or I did have some jelly beans, so I'd eat a small handful, maybe 10 jelly beans. And usually it's not even that I'm hungry, I just want to eat something.
Yeah. Do you have them sitting out on your desk?
No.
Okay.
Because if I do, I'll eat them.
I was going to say, that's probably really helpful to not have them in front of you so you see them.
Yeah.
Alright. Perfect. Alright, so I'm going to do the weekend now. And you said starting off you'll do breakfast on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
What does breakfast usually like for y'all?
maybe sometimes we'll do cinnamon rolls, or we might do like bacon and eggs and a biscuit with jelly.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we end up going somewhere, because we're always on the go, we'll get like egg bites from Starbucks or something.
Okay. How often do y'all eat breakfast at home on the weekends?
Pretty much every Sunday. Saturday, we might go get something and then just go out walking or doing something outside.
Okay, that's fun. And then what is lunch, snack, dinner time like for you on a weekend?
Actually lately we've kind of been skipping lunch, I guess. Because we'll eat a pretty big breakfast, and then we'll give Ollie a snack before he lays down for his nap, and then his nap is during lunchtime, and so usually we'll just like not eat lunch.
Okay.
And then when he wakes up, we'll do dinner.
Okay.
Like around 5-ish.
Instead of eating lunch, do you ever like snack or like?
I will. Like this past weekend, I ate like chips and salsa
Okay.
as a snack while he was sleeping.
All right. And you said on a weekday that you typically around 8:30 or 9 you snack at night.
Mm-hmm.
Does that remain the same on the weekends? Okay. All right. That sounds good. So you eat out for most of the, or like you don't cook a ton.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times a week would you say that y'all eat fried foods?
Maybe three times a week.
Okay.
3 or 4.
All right. And in your typical day, you kind of mentioned it a little bit, but would you say that you try and eat by a certain a diet, like not specifically a diet, but something that you intentionally try and eat by? You mentioned you try and have a meat and veggie for almost every lunch, and most of the time for dinner. So do you think that's pretty normal to try and balance that out?
Yeah, I'm really big on my veggies.
Okay.
So I do try to make sure I get veggies at least once or twice a day,
Okay.
at least once. And then I really do try to steer away from carbs as much as possible.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. All right. So do you think if you, when we're done with the session, you made a dietary change, do you think that you'd have enough support to keep it going?
Yeah.
And sustain it? Okay. Perfect. That's really good. Do you think that those people supporting you would be, or like your family even, would be willing to make the change with you?
Yeah.
Or would it be mainly just you?
Yeah, I think they would be, until my husband starts wanting ice cream.
Okay, gotcha. I understand that. Do you think that they'll benefit from it as well? Okay, perfect. That's good. It helps when you have people doing it with you.
Yes.
So what is you said something about decreasing sugar, and you obviously try and do low carb a lot. So what is your biggest goal that you want to walk out of here with?
I don't know, I guess really my main concern that I would want to be my goal is to just like maybe find an easier way to cook at home, or a faster way.
Okay, yeah.
So that I'm not eating out so much.
Yeah, okay. Can do that. Okay, so talking about decreasing sugar, have you ever tried to decrease your sugar intake before? Okay. Was there anything specifically that you tried to help you decrease that sugar?
No. I was just like in my head like, you don't need that.
Okay.
I did this before I got pregnant, and I did it really well. And then I got pregnant and wanted all the things.
Yeah.
So now I'm back on it again. But it was really just like, I'm not gonna eat it. Like, I'm done.
So there's different methods, and I'm gonna hand you. Should have had this ready. So this is how to eat right with less added sugars. So do you know anything about added sugars?
Not really.
Okay.
Maybe.
So you can look through this after this session, of course, and you'll be receiving all these documents. But the main source of added sugars comes from like soft drinks, candy, even juices. A lot of juices, if you look on the back, you can see that they have even cane sugars and added sugars. Anything that's not naturally in whatever that food is that you're eating. So like cereals have a lot of added sugars, stuff like that. So some of them are things that you would expect to have a bunch of sugar, but then sometimes like ketchup, barbecue sauce, pizzas, because of the pizza sauce, they'll have sugar in them. So that's definitely something you can start being aware of. So a big method in decreasing sugar is identifying what added sugars are and what they're in. So like just when you're going to the grocery store, you can check the labels and just see. And now that they're switching over to this new standard for nutritional labels, where you have to put the added sugars. So it can't just be in the total sugars anymore. Because if you get a fruit juice, the fruit juice from the fruit will have natural sugars, but now if they add sugars to it, they're having to report that this is an added sugar and this is how much we're adding. So that's really helpful when you're looking, especially for your kid, just looking for added sugars in his juices that you may give him. So that's one way that you can decrease sugar. Just cutting out your added sugars can help a ton. Also with the snacking, like just snacking better, which is hard because when you're snacking, you typically have something in your mind that you want. So I also have this other document. It's Smart Snacking for Adults and Teens. And I'll give that to you after so you're not overwhelmed in looking at everything. But it talks about, have you heard of empty calories?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know much about them at all?
Maybe. Not really.
Okay. So basically, empty calories are, it'd be like a candy or the easiest thing to describe is candy. It's anything that doesn't typically have like vitamins, nutrients, fiber, the necessary things for life, but it does have high sugar intake, and so they're calories being used, but they're empty calories because they're not nourishing your body. And so that's a big thing, is like watching your empty calories. And so a lot of people, when they're trying to decrease their sugar, they will replace their empty calorie snacks with fiber dense or whole grain stuff. So like maybe whole grain crackers, or maybe a piece of whole grain bread toasted with a little bit of jelly or something like that. And then another thing with that is added sugars also include corn syrup. So when you do pick these things, you have to make sure that there's not corn syrup in them. So like the jelly, you'd have to be, probably cane sugar would be the best. It'd still have a little bit of sugar, but it will have less than the high fructose corn syrup types. Can you think of any other ways that you could decrease your sugar intake daily?
I use a lot of sugar and cream in my coffee, so I could probably cut down on that.
Okay, yeah.
And breads, which I'm trying to cut out anyways.
Okay. Yeah, some breads do have added sugars.
Sweet tea and soda. I love sweet tea and I love Dr. Pepper. But I try to only drink those at dinner time.
Okay.
Every other time is just water. Or for the rest of the day, I try to just do water. So I could cut out that soda or tea.
Okay.
At dinner.
Yeah. If you feel like you need the tea, like the caffeine, you can start with half and half, which many people do when they're going straight from sweet tea. They do half and half for a little bit, and then they'll cut down to completely unsweetened tea. And so that may be, if you need the caffeine from the sweet tea, that could be something that you try as well. Alright, so I'm going to talk about this snacking one for a second.
Okay.
Which it sounds like that's a big source of your sugar, just from the late night snacking and candy at work and stuff. So a big thing to help with snacking is snacking when you're hungry. like when your stomach is actually grumbling and you can tell that you need an energy source. So a lot of people typically snack just out of habit. Boredom is a lot of people. One way to help that is if you're watching TV and there's a commercial break, instead of looking at the food that's on the commercial break, you could do jumping jacks, you could walk around your house a little bit, you could just get up and stretch, do like a quick yoga move if you wanted to. And so that will keep your mind active and not thinking about the food that they may be showing on commercials. And that helps with the boredom and emotional eating, which I know for me personally, if I'm eating at night, it's probably because I'm bored and watching TV. So that can help a lot if you're moving every once in a while. And then another thing is planning your snacks ahead of time. So if you're snacking at work because you're genuinely hungry, you can plan ahead your snack. Which you said you don't like raw veggies, so you probably don't want to take carrots for your snack. But if you do have a sweet tooth, you can take fresh fruit. You can do strawberries, berries, whatever fruits. Do you like fruits?
Sort of.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Do you like dried fruits any?
Yeah.
Okay. What about canned fruits?
No.
Okay. Do you like smoothies?
Yeah. They fill me up so much though, so if I'm snacky, it's almost like it's too much.
Okay, gotcha. So with if you don't like fresh fruit as much, you can do dried fruits. If you're gonna do that, you can always check the labels. Some of them do add sugar, some of them don't. So make sure that look in the ingredients, not just the labels, because the fruit will naturally have sugar. So you want to check the ingredients, and if sugar is the first ingredient, probably has more sugar than it does fruit. So, but you could do like sugar-free dried cranberries, which they will be a little bit more tart. But there's a bunch of different fruits out there that there'll be natural sugars and not actual added sugars. So just doing that ahead of time, like proportioned snacks, so you don't just have it sitting on your desk and it's too big of a bowl of fruit. Make it a serving size that you know that will fill you up without making you too full. Yes, so and this also has a bunch of different snacking ideas that you can look at, and you can, some of them are like baking your own chips, like if you did beet chips or kale chips, whatever you may like baking them yourself or preparing instant oatmeal to take to work. And then another thing is, you said earlier that you like yogurt. Yes. So a lot of the flavored yogurts do have added sugars. It's a bit more than most people realize. So you can always, if you wanted to, like it shows in the picture here, making your own flavored yogurt. So getting a plain, non-sweetened yogurt, and then adding your own berries, and like granola and stuff. Something that you know that you'll enjoy, but it's also low sugar. So that's also some things. So you can definitely look through these when we're done here, and you can pick out some to try this upcoming week if you would like.
Okay.
All right. So out of all that, I know that was a lot, but also another one is drinking water, because a lot of people get snacky because they're actually thirsty, or the water will just help them settle their stomach. So that's also another tip that you can try. So out of those, although it was a lot, did any of those sound like doable for you right now with your time? And
yeah, like preparing snacks.
Okay. Do you feel that you have time to prepare your own snacks?
Maybe, but what it's probably going to look like is just grabbing the whole thing of yogurt and taking all the toppings with me and fixing it at work whenever I'm ready to eat it.
Yeah. Do you have access to that? Do you have access to a fridge or microwave, all that stuff at work? Okay, perfect. That helps a lot. Okay.
And I actually do make my own oatmeal from not rolled oats, what is it called? Steel cut oats, yeah. I make my own, I just make a big pot of it and then put it in muffin tins and freeze it. So I already have like a pre-portioned little muffin tin of oatmeal.
Gotcha.
So.
Do you add anything to that when you make it?
I usually add some honey, chia seeds, almonds. Granted, the almonds I'll usually have like brown sugar on them, or like sweetened almonds.
Roasted.
Yeah, roasted slivers, and like cranberries or something like that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the almonds with the sugar, if you wanted to try, I know those are probably really good, but if you wanted to try adding like just normal almonds, I'm not sure how much of a difference. It's probably a pretty big difference, but you could try that. So that's good that you're already proportioning your oatmeal. And you said something about the yogurt, just taking the whole thing. If that's what works for you, you could get a specific bowl that you use every time, and it's a small enough bowl that you don't put too much yogurt in it, and then maybe do a scoop, like a spoon of granola, and then 2 spoons of the fruit maybe, so that it's still the same every day, and it's the same serving size, so you're not eating the whole thing at once.
Yeah.
But if you have access to a fridge, that's a great idea, and it's probably easy with time-wise and stuff. So you don't have to prepare it before. Alright, that sounds good. So, working on snacks, and you feel like you are able to do that? Okay. Alright. Have you ever heard of I'm going to show you this real quick. I can find it actually. Have you ever heard of the readiness model? Okay, so I'm going to show you this picture. So it's kind of a way for us to judge where you are. So it's 1 to 10. So 1 is not ready, like you're not ready for a change, and then 10 is ready, planning to make a change. So with your snacks, where would you put yourself? And then 5 and 6 are not sure, so you don't have a feeling either way. So where would you put yourself on that for making a snack change?
Probably like a 9.
Okay, perfect, yeah. Why do you think you wouldn't be a 10?
Just time.
Okay, yeah.
And just the like convenience of just grabbing whatever's nearby.
Yeah. What makes you feel more confident than an 8?
Just because I like tried on a lot of my clothes the other day and they didn't fit.
Okay, so that's a good motivation.
So I've just been motivated lately.
All right, well that's good. That can help a lot. So we kind of identified some of the foods that you eat in the daily that may have high sugar, like your coffee, your snacks, and then you said for breakfast on the weekends like cinnamon rolls, biscuit with jelly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then your sweet tea. Are there any other foods that you regularly eat that may have higher sugar count than you desire?
I don't think so. I mean, I know my coffee is a really high source of sugar, but I love it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. Do you use a creamer that is flavored, or is it just like a milk creamer, like just a plain?
Either or.
Okay.
I don't use. Actually, I know I said I use sugar, but I don't use sugar in my coffee. I use maple syrup.
Okay.
And
so that's a little bit better.
Yeah, I did that change before I was pregnant and trying to do this low sugar or no refined sugar thing. So I try not to use like sugar. I just use maple syrup, and then sometimes I will use the Starbucks creamer, cinnamon dulce creamer. So that one does have a lot of sugar, but then other times I'll just use just the sweet cream.
Okay, yeah, but you don't add sugar on top of those. Okay, that's good.
Besides the maple syrup.
Okay, all right. How much maple syrup would you use typically?
Just like for a second.
Okay, so it's not a ton.
No.
Okay, that's good. All right. Sounds good. So you kind of can identify your main intake of sugar. So that's really helpful. So you know where to start. You're not just completely lost. So I just wanted to give some options for like replacements, especially nighttime sweets and stuff. You can add like the fruits like we talked about. And you said you don't like canned fruits. But if you ever do try like a canned fruit for some reason, you can make sure that they're in water and not syrup, and so that they don't have added sugars and stuff. Alright, so I think that's good. And I'm also going to give you this other paper with it's talking about whole grains. So if you wanted to replace your snacking with whole grain options, this gives you a bunch of things that you can do. So it's just like making half of your grains whole grain instead of the white bread and whatnot. So that's just something else I'm going to give you. And I think that's it. I think you have a really good plan to cut out sugar. So I think you're going to be pretty good with this.
Thanks.
So do you have any other questions you want to ask me or any concerns you may have?
I don't think so.
Okay, perfect. Alright, well, yeah, sounds like you have a good plan. So I will talk to you later and check in on you to see how you're doing.
Okay, thank you.
Cool.